All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending. What's Trending presented by Bodyguards, protection for a life worth living. Learn more at bodyguards.com. Fixing the BYU football issue, or issues, if you will. The million-dollar question is, how? Is it game plan? Offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick says in the loss to Liberty, that was definitely not the case.
This game was not about scheme. This game, I want to make that clear. This game had nothing to do with scheme. This play had to do with our mindset and our ability to handle adversity.
Plenty of adversity going on right now.
Yeah.
A-Rod added there is frustration because these are the same players that have succeeded in tough situations before.
It's disappointing because this is the same group of players who have thrived in adversity in the past. I mean, it's the same guys. Now we've been in these tough situations before and played at our absolute best when the chips are down and you know everything's against us. And for whatever reason, we have not done that well enough lately. And so we got to fix that.
Fair enough. Where's that mental strength that BYU used to win games at Washington State last year when it got weird and against USC? That's true. Head coach Kalani Sitake says now he's running the show on the defensive side. He made that very clear, but that's not necessarily the key to success.
At the end of the day, I'm coming up with the menu and deciding on the plays and deciding on the personnel. And when we do that, I'll call the plays on the game, and you know, we just need to execute better. It's not about the plays or the calls. It's just about executing better.
Jarom, at this point, is it ultimately up to the BYU football players to turn this thing around on Friday night?
No, it's both. It's coaches and players. It's staff. It's everybody. They need to combine to turn this thing around. And what's frustrating is there's not one simple answer for any of the issues that BYU has. There are many answers that need to occur to these questions. But the only way to actually do it is BYU does it on Friday. Like, we're going to have to talk about it all week. We're going to spin in circles our wheels on this. But ultimately, Friday, coaches have to coach better and players have to play better. And there's a lot of nuance to that, but it is both. I don't think, and both will say, you know, hey, you know, we need to do our part, and they do. It's like we can't carry the show. The production can be amazing. If we stink on this program, the show stinks, right? Regardless of how good the production is. We need to work together as our team, right? And so there are great graphics, video, execution, directing, audio, all of it, right? It all comes together. We all have to come together. In the same way, the football team has to do that as well. Like the nutritionist has to be great this week. They have to get enough sleep. They have to make like all of that stuff matters.
Yes.
When you're playing a night game, when you're playing at home, when you're playing a very good offense in ECU and defense that got 4 takeaways last week against UCF, who was 5-1, and they blew them out. So it all needs to come together on Friday from players and coaches.
Something has to happen mentally for the players, I think, specifically, to switch back into killer instinct mode, because it's been long gone since the Oregon game. It's been gone.
Something happened in that game, Spence. Something happened, like the dam broke.
And a few players have said as much to me. And I don't like that. But something has been broken mentally for the BYU football players.
That's not easily fixable.
No, but I'm going to put that aspect specifically on the players to get right mentally. The coaches, sure, they have a huge responsibility to create a culture of belief and a winning environment, and to get their guys in the right places, to coach them up, to help them, you know, do everything they can. But when it comes down to getting yourself individually and personally right, that's on the players. And something's been broken since Oregon. Now, the coaches believe that they've figured out some things that they need to do, but now it's about getting it to translate on the field. And that is very, very difficult. How do you help an individual player get to the right mental space?
There are mental coaches for this as well. And BYU has them.
Sure.
So perhaps those are the people this week who
Absolutely.
need to put in them. Everybody needs to work.
Absolutely.
That's, when I say nutrition, I mean everybody on the staff,
Every
including
single person involved in this
psychology.
BYU football program, right down to the sports psychologists and the nutritionists, need to up their game. We have reached that point. It is DEFCON 2. Okay?
Yeah.
It's DEFCON 2. Now, for those who don't know the DEFCON scale, DEFCON 1 is the most severe. I'm at DEFCON 2 for this BYU football team.
Yeah, DEFCON 1 is 2017 stuff.
Yes.
Like
nuclear warfare, if you will,
like
as
if
far as
BYU
the football season goes. You got to fire significant people.
Yes.
And there's no turning back.
And the way it's trending, it doesn't look like anything's going to happen in season with that. Like if you would have done it, if you were going to do it, you were going to do it probably after Liberty. Perhaps if things don't go well against ECU, that's a thing. But it feels like unless BYU really salvages the last third of the season here, which we'll break down more in a second, that there will be changes. And that happens when you don't live up to standard. Now, the team doesn't create the standard per se, unless they say it out loud. Like when Bronco Mendenhall says quest for perfection, you've created a standard. This team didn't do that. What created the standard was the amount of experience coming back, the fact that you go 10-3 and finish ranked, you return the quarterback, you return the offensive line. Like, yeah, we were talking about 9-10 games for this team.
BYU started 2-0, Jarom. They were right on par with what we thought they were going to be.
Ranked 12th, beat number 9 Baylor. PFF said the O-line was one of the top 5 in the country. Those were all part of the expectation. So we felt the same way. It was easy not to drink the Kool-Aid at that point. But unfortunately, this team, despite all of the experience, yes, they've been very injured, and yes, they've played a tough schedule, hasn't matched up this year, and that's been disappointing. But the good news is they can turn it around. I'm not sure it's going to happen, though, Spence. I'm in I need to see it mode, not, hey, I hope it happens. Yes, we all hope it happens. If you're watching the show, you hope it happens because you're probably a BYU fan. If you're what are you doing watching this? But hi, BYU has 4 games left. They're going to beat Utah Tech. Let's go, which brings us to topic 2. Time to reassess. What will BYU's final regular season record be? Right now, 4-4, 4 regular season games left.
I still think 7-5. And here's why.
I'd like that.
Because there's something to getting into the right mental place and knowing that you play well under the lights at home at LaVell Edwards Stadium. There is something to it. For this team, they got to hang their hat on something. It's like, okay, we've been good at home. We win games under the lights at LaVell Edwards Stadium. And I know that the issues don't go away because of the time of day.
Right.
But just maybe that gives players a mental edge. They're thinking, okay, yeah, we can do this. We don't lose at this time of day in this place. We win games here. And so just maybe the belief is there. I know it's been weird against Utah State and Wyoming, but BYU found a way to win those games. ECU's better than both of those teams for sure.
That's the concern. Those teams were so bad that
it was okay.
BYU took care of it, yeah.
So
it wasn't by enough, and it also told us this team wasn't in the space we wanted them to be in. That was... Now that we have 8 games, Spence, we know who BYU is.
Sure. I feel 7-5.
So 3-1.
Beat Utah Tech.
Back 4.
Beat ECU, and then figure out a way to do enough against either Boise State and or Stanford.
Which one's tougher in your opinion?
Boise State right now.
I agree.
The game at Boise State feels infinitely tougher than BYU's game against Stanford.
They fixed some things after losing 2 of the first 4.
They brought in a former NFL head coach.
Former Boise State head coach.
Dirk Cutter.
Yeah, he coached them.
To run the offense.
That'd be bringing in Bronco to coach the defense. Like, that's the equivalent. That'd be so weird.
Yes.
That's not going to happen.
So, and people are like, Spencer, you're crazy. What? Yeah, I'm not putting I'm not putting all my stock in the home game and the night thing. I feel like it will help the players get to a better place after what I'm sure is going to be a very, very intense and challenging week of practice mentally and physically.
I hope so.
But I do, and we're going to talk about this later in the week. Rewind to 2014. I'm going to give you just a little nugget. Bronco Mendenhall.
Give me a Cougar nugget.
Bronco Mendenhall took over for Nick Howell in 2014 at the end of a 4-game losing streak. Mm-hmm. Okay, spurred on by the Taysom Hill injury, but Bronco Mendenhall took over, calling the plays. And technically, it was after a 3-game losing streak. BYU was 4-3 coming off a home loss to Nevada. And every BYU fan was like, what in the world? BYU just lost at home to Nevada?
Well, that Nevada team ended up being like top 10.
They gave up 42.
Around that time? Yeah. That was Colin Kaepernick.
No, it wasn't Colin Kaepernick.
It wasn't?
No. He was in the league. Colin Kaepernick was in the Super Bowl the year
What
before.
was the other one then? Was it 15?
42-35 in 2014 by a non-Colin Kaepernick-led, very mediocre
Cody
Nevada
Fajardo.
team. There you go.
What was the Kaepernick year then?
2010.
10.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
2014 against a very mediocre Nevada team at home. They give up
Lost
42.
in Nevada in 2010.
Right? Yes. So Bronco Mendenhall is like, I'm taking over the defense.
Yeah.
Nick Cowell's going to do a position group. I'm taking over defense. And then BYU fans are like, okay, yes, Bronco's back. BYU went on the road to Boise and gave up 55 points. It was like, what do we do now? Because Bronco's calling the defense.
Well, that Boise State team made the Fiesta Bowl. They were very
I know.
good.
My point is, in week 2, it got better when Bronco took over the defense.
It helps when you play Middle Tennessee.
And hopefully...
And UNLV and Savannah State and
Sure.
at Cal, who didn't make a bowl game.
Well, Stamper might not make a bowl game. Might be in a very similar situation
Yes.
with an NFL
You're going
quarterback.
to the Bay Area.
Yeah, very
on the
similar.
last week.
Okay? So my point is, I feel like the defense will be better now that Kalani's had a little more time to adjust and figure
If it's
things
not,
out.
that's a real issue,
Then
Spence.
it's a problem.
Like, yes, it should be better.
So that's why 7-5, because Kalani's taking over the defense, and I feel like with time it will get better.
I go 6-6. One win is Utah Tech, obviously, and then I hope Friday it's ECU. I'm not sure about at Boise State and at Stanford. I can't confidently say right now the way BYU's playing that they go and win those games, because this BYU team has got to discover something that's not there, and you're grasping at straws. So grab whatever you can get.
Night game.
Because night game. Yes. Like, it's obviously not causation. It's correlation. But it feels like it's becoming causation that BYU at night turns into this vampire cougar hybrid, and it's really good. Like, what is the? I can't even remember the record at home. 22-1, kickoff after 6 local time.
Last 3 years.
Since 2020.
Yeah, they win games at night.
It's weird how good BYU is at night like that, and how mediocre, I guess. BYU is about a 500 team, right?
It's also Halloween
day.
weekend of sorts with the
there we
vampire
go.
Coogan play.
So there we go. BYU actually played Western Kentucky in 2020 on Halloween.
That's right.
I remember saying bye to the kids. Hey, got some candy. Good job. See you. Daddy's got to go watch this football game and watch what's Big Red lose a dance off to Cosmo. I think 6-6. Oh gosh, I hope for 4-0 somehow. 3-1, like you're saying.
We all hope for 4-0.
But I feel right. I feel like 2-2 is a safe guess.
Sure.
Now,
I feel like 3-1 is asking a lot.
it is.
And that's
1-3 is like a real possibility here.
But I'm asking a lot of Kalani Sitake. Like, I'm
You're asking
putting
a lot of everybody.
Putting a lot of trust in his ability to get the culture right and the belief right and call the plays.
The ECU offense is coming in on fire. Like, okay, 2 weeks in a row, they've had a 300, 100, 100 with a passer, rusher, and receiver. They're legit. Like I dug into them Sunday, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Can
BYU
BYU
is
win
in
a
trouble.
shootout?
No. I would say no right now because I don't trust the defense. And then offensively, you just said Chris Brooks has a hamstring injury.
So it's Lopini Katoa and maybe Miles Davis? Maybe?
BYU doesn't have a run game. This is very concerning. Like, what's the best thing
Puka
for it?
Nacua is the running back.
We're at the point where on 3rd and 10 at midfield, Puka Nacua got a handoff. Like, I love Puka. We're gonna hear your conversation with him from yesterday. I'm excited to listen to it. I haven't heard it. And we'll talk about his impact on the offense. He's awesome. He's one dude. Like, Jaron Hall is still hurt with the shoulder. Jaron Hall's best friend is 2 things that aren't happening right now. 1 is a run game, and 2 is some defensive stops. I'm not talking about an occasional takeaway, which Talon Alfree's pick was great. BYU scored a touchdown 2 plays later. It's staying off the field for the defense. These guys are tired because the offense isn't doing enough on the field at times. In the shootout, it's like, hey, defense, get a stop. Offense keeps scoring. Tackled KJ Jefferson on that crazy Eli Manning Super Bowl play. Yeah, there's a few things that need to happen. So hopefully, BYU needs to make a bowl game, and the next year we go back to the standard of make a bowl game in year 1 in the Big 12 and proceed from there. But Friday is a massive game. BYU loses that. Oh my gosh, you have to win on the blue or on the farm.
Yeah, to get to a bowl game. Like BYU playing Stanford the final week of the season when both teams are 5-6 and the winner goes to a bowl game would
Thanksgiving
would be
weekend.
a real scenario if BYU does not win this game on Friday.
Turkey sleepy Saturday. I mean, it's weird. I don't want that to come down to that.
Weird deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now that you've had that joyous conversation to think about.
This whole week's going to be fun that way. Jeez.
It's now time for you rather to answer Voice of the Nation. Our question of the day is this: what will BYU football's final regular season record be? Troy Beagley on Instagram says 8-4.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Every game left is a winnable game. It really is.
It is, yeah.
With the changes I know Kalani is making, I think we will see a better and much improved BYU football team this Friday. I'm hoping there's a thing to the Friday night. Lavelle Edwards Stadium, night game, Coug Vampire.
Coug Vampires, let's go. I think ECU more skilled than Liberty, by the way. I think Liberty hasn't played as tough of a schedule. ECU has lost by 1 to NC State, lost by 3 to Navy in double OT.
ECU's a good football team.
ECU's good, man. I respect the heck out of the Pirates right now.